We all have that one piece of advice that we're always handing out to others, but we rarely follow ourselves. Does that make us hypocrites? I don't think so. And today we're diving into exactly why sometimes it is so easy to dish out advice, but so hard to actually follow that advice ourselves. We're breaking down the do as I say, not as I do formula and figuring out how to actually get ourselves to follow our own advice. If we haven't met before, my name is Isabel, and on this channel we talk all about embracing your weird in order to build a better brand, business, and life. So let's go. Before we go deeper, I want you to grab a notebook, the Notes app on your phone, a piece of paper, a napkin, something, and write down your top 3 or 5 pieces of advice that you always give to other people. Whatever it is, whether it's that you should get a good night's sleep, you should exercise more, you should set better boundaries, any piece of advice that you know that you give out to people. And now I want you to ask yourself, do you follow this advice yourself? Now, if your answer is yes, congratulations, you are a mystical being, and that is amazing because you are one of those rare humans that actually does everything that they say others should do. However, if you're like the rest of us, welcome to the club, you will know that sometimes it's easier to dish out the advice than to actually follow it. Now, there's actually a psychological, or I should say multiple psychological reasons behind this. And once you understand them, you will know how to look at your own advice and take action on it. And it's really funny because you can see it easier in other people. You'll notice that coworker that's always telling people to relax and take a break and rest is always the one on the verge of a breakdown, right? But we do it too. And so let's break down the psychological reasons why that is. Now there's 6 of them. So number 1 is that we are better observers than we are participants. Have you ever watched like a reality show or a competition show on TV? And as you were seeing the contestants do solve the thing, cook the thing, bake the thing, whatever competitions you like, you were thinking in your head like, oh, what I would have done is this, or I would have tried this, or I would have tried to go this way instead. This is a perfect example of the participant versus observer effect. It is so much easier to figure out the best course of action when you're the observer, and so much harder to figure out the best course of action when you are the participant. Because when it comes to our own lives where we're the participant, that is where our emotions, our doubts, and our objectivity starts losing some focus. It starts kind of making things feel a little bit different. It's easier to tell a friend to leave their toxic job than to actually follow your dreams and quit your toxic job. Now, number 2 is the mindset we're stuck in. We're stuck in this not for me mindset. I apologize in advance for this one because this one is a little bit hard to hear, but sometimes unconsciously, we believe other people deserve happiness and rest and balance, and we believe that we have to earn happiness, rest, balance, etc. We believe that others inherently deserve it. Like my best friend totally deserves to have the best life ever, but I have to earn it through hard work. And so it's great to tell a friend to take a break, but we tell ourselves we can take a break once we finish this one last thing. Except that one last thing turns into 25 last things, and we never actually get to take that break. Number 3, the excuse we use, the special case excuse. Now, this ties into the participant versus observer effect when I told you that our emotions get caught in the mix. We tend to believe that our situations are uniquely complicated. Like our stress, our struggles, our responsibility are somehow different and make it harder to actually follow the advice that we're giving. But we don't think the same of our friends and families. And don't get me wrong, like they do this too. This is something that all human beings do. But this might be something like telling someone that they should make time to move their body and exercise because exercise is really good for you. And then you yourself aren't exercising because you don't have time to go to the gym. Because right now, your life is extra complicated, extra hard, extra busy, extra da-da-da. And at some point you'll have the time to get to it. And you know it's important even though you're not doing it now. But it's because right now your life circumstances are different. Number 4, we crave better answers. We all know that we should be sleeping more. We should be drinking more water. We should be eating healthier. We should be exercising, right? However, it is a lot easier to search for the magic health hack on TikTok than to actually sleep more, drink more water, and exercise, right? And so sometimes we know what the answer is and what we have to do, but facing it and actually doing it makes us uncomfortable. And so we get sidetracked searching for the magic pill, searching for the get-rich-quick scheme, right? And instead of taking action, we distract ourselves, searching for the right answer when we already have at least an answer, right, that we should be taking action on. Now, this also ties into shiny object syndrome, which, if you don't know, is this syndrome where you say, hey, that's new, that looks great, let me go towards that. And what I mean by this is when you have your water bottle with you and you're walking in the store and you see this new shiny water bottle, right? But you love your water bottle. Yeah, but that one's new. And so your brain goes like, ooh, I want that one. Same thing happens with things like exercise, right? You are trying to start exercising and you're like, oh, but maybe I can try a pole dance class, or maybe I could try yoga. Oh, I heard about this new thing where you jump on a trampoline. And again, it's just your brain trying to make things more exciting again. So what I would urge you to do is to think of how to make the things that you want to do exciting again now in the way they are. So, for example, if you're trying to drink more water, what if you, instead of getting a glass of water or doing it in your old water bottle, why don't you pick your favorite coffee cup and drink it from there? It sounds silly, and I understand it sounds silly, but that new thing makes us pay attention. It makes it fun again. Instead of going to find the new way to meditate, what if you meditated to new music? Or what if you exercised in a different way? What if you exercised in a different schedule? Like instead of doing it in the morning, try it in the afternoon. Make things exciting again by changing up how they're done. Now, of course, I want you to drop in the comments below, how are you gonna make one of your habits a little bit more exciting again so that you can avoid this? If you're liking this video, please like and subscribe because it really helps this channel grow. Number 5 is the fact that we fear change, right? In psychology, there's something called loss aversion, which is basically our brain is wired to avoid loss more than it's wired to pursue gain. We avoid the pain, we avoid the loss. And so taking our own advice often requires us to get out of our comfort zone, to get uncomfortable, to take a risk, and let go of things we don't want to let go of. And that just doesn't feel fun at all. And so our brain says, hey, how about no, we don't do this, right? So you might be telling your friend that they should set boundaries at work, but maybe you aren't setting boundaries with your family because you fear that they're going to stop talking to you, right? It's a lot easier, again, to see it from an outside perspective objectively when it's someone else than when it is about you. And the last one is that we love to play mental tug-of-war, also known as cognitive dissonance, which according to the Oxford Dictionary is, and I'm going to read this, the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially as relating to behavioral decisions and attitude change. AKA the discomfort our brain feels when we believe some things and we're doing other things. So we believe A, but we're doing B. We believe C, but we're doing F. Because our brains are hardwired to avoid loss, like I said before, we often rationalize why we're not doing that thing that we think we should be doing instead of changing it. We'll convince ourselves that, yes, 8 hours of sleep is what everyone needs, except I can function on 4, right? Because again, we're trying to convince ourselves that our situation is uniquely different. That's what it all boils down to. But at the end of the day, we aren't. We are all different and we're all unique, but we're also kind of all the same. And what we need to figure out is how we fix this and how we actually start following our own advice, because our lives would actually be better if we followed our own advice. So how do we do that? Easy. 5 steps. Step 1, make a list. At the beginning of this video, I told you to make a list of your 3 to 5 top advice that you give to other people. If you haven't, do it now. And from that list, I want you to ask yourself, are you actually following it? Are you actually following that advice? And if not, why? Second thing, identify the belief. I gave you 6 different beliefs above of why you might not be following your advice, 6 different reasons. And so once you know, oh, I'm not following this advice, why am I not following this advice? And you write out that answer, we're gonna identify which of those, based on your answer, what 6 reasons you're telling yourself. It might be more than 1. You might be telling yourself all 6. We don't know, but we won't know until you actually take this. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take one piece of advice that you wanna follow, and we're going to step number 3, flip the perspective. Now, what do I mean? You're gonna pretend your best friend really needs this piece of advice. And if your best friend really needs this piece of advice, what would you tell them? What would you recommend? How would you tell them to implement this if they asked questions? We're gonna tell this to our best friend, but really, we're telling it to ourselves. But don't tell your brain that, because it'll know that you're tricking it. Step number 4, start small. Of all those things you told your best friend to do, pick one, and that's the one we're gonna start on, because you can't go from no exercise to running a marathon tomorrow. But you can go from no exercise to having one daily 5-minute walk. So start small, pick that one thing, and then we're going to incrementally do more. And step number 5, we are going to commit out loud. Now, research has shown that when you tell someone else about what you're planning on doing, your brain takes that commitment a little bit more seriously. So let's hold each other accountable. Post in the comment below your one piece of advice that you're going to follow. You don't have to tell me exactly what you're doing to follow it. You don't have to tell me your first step if you don't want to share. That's completely personal. All we're going to do is fill the comment section with one piece of good advice that you want to follow. But you're going to know that that is the commitment that you are making of following your own advice. At the end of the day, we already have answers to a lot of the questions that we keep searching answers for. The real challenge is actually acting on those answers that we have and doing the things. If you feel called out, don't worry. I kind of called myself out on this one too, but comment your piece of advice below so we can hold each other accountable. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I make new ones like this every single Friday, and it really helps this newer channel grow. Until then, stay wild, stay weird, and I'll see you in the next one.